Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steph couldn't care less about Warriors seed after latest home loss. No matter where they finish in the rugged Western Conference, whether it's 6th or 11th or somewhere in between, the Warriors will know they have spent most of the season unable to achieve the number one priority of an NBA contender: protect your turf. The failure to do that this season has been the source of several setbacks, the latest being a 119-112 loss to the Knicks on Monday night at Chase Center that was discouraging enough to take Stephen Curry's mind off the pursuit of that coveted number 6 seed. Maybe a week or two ago, the number 6 seed was the motivation, Curry said. Right now, I could not care less about where you're at. It's the consistency of how we're playing. That's the most important thing because, honestly, who cares what seed you are if you're going to play like we did tonight? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get very far. Golden State took the court wearing a 17-17 record at home and headed for the showers lugging a 17-18 mark after losing to a partial squad of Knicks. The Warriors fell behind early and never took a lead. Never even played their way into a tie against a visitor missing 3 starters. The Knicks were great tonight right from the very beginning, Coach Steve Kerr said. They took it to us, they were physical, they played with great force. The early intensity between the teams contrasted sharply, which is stunning given the stakes. The Warriors were coming off a rousing victory over the Lakers in Los Angeles, moving into 9th place, only 3 games out of 6th. Getting there was conceivable, even plausible, but would require a level of focus and execution that was lacking at home against the Knicks. I don't think it's a lack of effort, Kerr said. I think it's just we weren't good enough, that simple. We just did not play well enough. It's disappointing because we got these 3 home games here this week and we wanted to get off on the right track. After 2 days in 9th place, the Warriors fell back to 10th, 1 game behind LA. They need a Hubble telescope to see the number 6 seed, their goal as stated 4 weeks ago. The door is swinging open to the NBA play-in tournament, with all its perils and pitfalls. All because they haven't been thriving at Thrive City. That's been our staple, Curry said of winning at home. We've given ourselves a little cushion every season for the last, however long. It's a challenge that we have to overcome at some point down the stretch of the season. We understand the last best-case scenario is to try to have home court in a play-in environment, or when you get into a series and have to win here and protect your home court, especially as a lower seed. We've got to correct whatever is that's ailing us. One of elements ailing the Warriors is their defense. It shined in February, when they ranked 5th in defensive rating and posted a 11-3 record that led them to believe they could make a late surge and avoid the play-in tournament. They're 4-5 in March. TJD proving he can be Warriors' primary center as minutes increase. Lost amid the shambles of the Warriors' 119-112 loss to the New York Knicks on Monday at Chase Center was another solid game by Tracy Jackson-Davis. The Warriors' rookie has developed into a solid rim protector on defense who possesses enough offensive athleticism to haul in alley-oop passes from near midcourt with ease before jamming the ball home. Jackson-Davis had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks off the bench and was one of the few Golden State players to have any sort of offensive consistency against New York. He made all 9 shots that he took and reached double figures for the 6th time in his last 7 games. He's been a great spark off the bench, Stephen Curry said. Him and Chris Paul, and even Klay Thompson, have a nice chemistry in pick-and-roll situations. He's understood the pictures a lot on defense to know where to be to get those blocks and get those hustle plays and give us a huge presence inside. I think he's proven that he's learning on the fly, and he's making a huge impact in his minutes. You're starting to see him with different lineups, even next to Draymond Green, for a good run. You need that size and that presence. He's doing everything in his power to impact the game. Jackson Davis definitely has done that. The Warriors have been searching for production out of the center position for most of the season. Kevin Looney was the guy earlier this season, then Green took over at the 5 for the small lineup once he returned from a second NBA suspension. Jackson Davis, who has had a handful of starts, is forcing coach Steve Kerr to play him more. Since mid-February, the number 57 pick in the 2023 NBA draft has seen his time on the court increase on almost a daily basis. The 25:44 minutes he clocked against the Knicks were the third most in a game that he hasn't started. Jackson Davis became the 8th player in franchise history during the shot clock era to take at least 9 shots without a miss. Jonathan Kuminga was 11-for-11 earlier this season. Jackson Davis also has given the Warriors a legitimate lob threat. Against the Knicks, Paul tossed one to him from near the midcourt logo. "Just throw it up there, he'll go get it," Gary Payton, too, said. "He'll make the right play." Curry said Jackson Davis' development has given the Warriors a new threat. "When he sets good screens and you have to pay attention to other guys on the floor, his timing and his leaping ability and his pressure on the rim, it gives us a different dynamic," Curry said. "Now we have to utilize that and then get everything else going." Jackson Davis credits Paul, Looney, and other veterans on the roster for helping his development. "It's night and day different for me, how I see the game," Jackson Davis said. "CP's done a great job with me, talking to me, telling me things I need to do, and it shows. All the vets have been huge in helping me development." Victor Wembanyama reacts to Warriors' Tracy Jackson Davis posterizing him. Number 1 pick Victor Wembanyama remained unfazed after he was at the receiving end of a vicious poster dunk from Golden State Warriors second-round pick Tracy Jackson Davis. "Getting dunked on, it is nothing," Wembanyama said in French during his post-game presser following the Warriors' 122-102 win on Monday, March 11. "It's part of the game. I dunk on a lot of people and a lot of people dunk on me too. But I think I counter more often than I get dunked on it, so that's positive." Wembanyama had the better numbers, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists and 1 steal, but Jackson Davis had the last laugh. The poster dunk over the generational player from France punctuated Jackson Davis' double-double performance. Slept on during the NBA draft headlined by Wembanyama, the 57th pick Jackson Davis proved he can hang with the top of their class. Jackson Davis finished with 13 points, 10 rebounds and 5 assists off the bench. If the highlight dunk was the cherry on top, his game-high plus 20 in 27 minutes was the whole ice cream. "I know everyone, I mean a lot of guys want to come at me like this hard all game," Wembanyama told reporters. "Especially veterans and sometimes fellow rookies. So it's another challenge. But sometimes rookies feel like we have something to prove against guys our age or more or less our age." Jackson Davis anchored the Warriors' defense after Draymond Green fouled out in the final 2:43 to hold off the Spurs' late rally. "It's not easy to do," Warriors coach Steve Kerr told reporters. "Obviously, Green is our best defender, but it was also an indication of how good Tracy was. He was incredible tonight at both ends." Despite his poster dunk going viral, Jackson Davis played it cool and dismissed it as just a basketball play. "I saw that he overplayed it, and he overplayed it to my right. Obviously, I'm left-handed," Jackson Davis told reporters after the win. "So, I think I spun or got to my left hand and then I had to step on him. I just tried him. I told Kevin Looney before the game that if I got the chance to try him, I would. At the end of the day, sometimes you dunk on people, sometimes you get dunked on. It's just a basketball play." Jackson Davis' phone blew up after that highlight play. And he just laughed it off. "I watched it a few times," Jackson Davis said on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game on Tuesday, March 12. "It's funny, one big play like that happens, everyone wants to send it to you like you haven't seen it. I've seen it a few times. Kerr, who also exploded from his seat on the bench when Jackson Davis threw down the electrifying dunk that floored Wembanyama, was in awe. That's two guys about as high as humanly possible and one guy barely getting the ball over the other guy's arm. That's what NBA fans come to see. It just doesn't seem human. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation, Victor Wembanyama? Leave your opinion in the comments.